One brotherhood, one ship. Stay bearded, stay feeling. One brotherhood, one ship. Stay bearded, stay feeling. It's BV. It's BV. BV. It's BV.
Yeah.
It's BV. It's BV.
BV.
It's BV.
BV.
It's BV.
It's BV and Jellified, Jimmy Beam and Bly, reaching highest where we reach, yo, as high as to the stars. Beats in the villain Jeep, vibrating other cars. Whose world is this? Yo, we say the world is ours. So we grow beards, no fear, photos so clear. Take another shot, so to speak, yeah, more beer. BV worldwide, put a fist to the sky. Cheers, cheers, New Year's, dope rhyme, good vibes. My crew speaks power, Chi-Town bleeds power. Knowledge, wisdom, and truth in the final hour. Respect, loyalty, family, charity speaks power. Here the village brotherhood speaks honor. Forwards and onwards, stay villain to the end. I will never shave again because my beard is not a trend. I represent excellence, leadership, and never follow. I'm a BBC member, yo, Lieutenant of Chicago.
One brotherhood, one ship. Stay bearded, stay feeling. One brotherhood, one ship. Stay bearded, stay feeling. It's BV. It's BV. BV. It's BV.
Hello and welcome to The Heart of a Villain, the podcast devoted to the bearded villains' worldwide brotherhood and the lives they are changing all over the world. Guys, this is episode 35. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. You are on the live stream over on the YouTube. Otherwise, you are listening later on any major podcast platforms. So again, thanks everybody for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. I know some of our normal live streamers are not going to be in the house tonight because they are otherwise occupied in the world, in the world of BV down in Knoxville. And we'll get into that in just a second. But real quick, I just want to acknowledge a few people in the house here tonight. Aaron's in the house. We've got Jay, of course. Sean's in the house. I'm going by the names that are here on the YouTube channel. So if you don't like that name, then go switch it. Ken's in the house. I appreciate you, Ken. And, of course, Jess is here as well. So some of our normal people that normally check in with us are out of town, possibly doing other things, or are hitting the streets in Knoxville tonight. So, I greatly appreciate everybody for being here. Again, this is The Heart of a Villain, the podcast devoted to the bearded villains' worldwide brotherhood and the lives they are changing all over the world. And this is episode 35. We've got a fun one for you today. We're going to continue our trend as of recent with interview guests from overseas and in other countries. So that's a really good one for us. We're going to have the captain of the bearded villains of Brazil, Paulo, or if you follow him on Instagram, he's bv.janu, Janu. Goes by Janu. By most people. So we'll check in with him in just a few minutes. But I do have a couple of notes I do want to tie in here. First of all, I do want to say, just to bring everybody up to date who's not aware, our brother Kraken, who has undergone some medical issues, he is doing much, much better. And if you follow him on IG, please do, because he's sending out some fun videos every day, updating his progress rather. And he's come leaps and bounds in very short time, and he's speaking very well now. And as he likes to say, he is silky. And it cracks me up every time I hear him say it. So he's doing really well. Also, we had something fun happen. I think fun. It kind of shook the ground of the BV circles a little bit when I saw it earlier this week, just a couple days ago. But many of you may not be familiar with the fact that there was a big change, really, over in England over the last few days. It's been in the works for a bit, I think. But, no real way to put it other than just say the BV England chapter is no more. There is no more BV England. It has merged. They have merged with the Midlands chapter. And so now the BV England is no more and Midlands is no more. They are together, the Bearded Villains Central England. So they are once again one whole chapter between those two. So they are the BV Central England. And I don't have it with me right now, but get out there and check them out because they put together one heck of a really cool logo for their first logo for the new chapter combined. And very cool stuff. So we look for big things for those guys because the Midlands chapter and the England chapter were already very active, but I can't imagine that that's going to stop now that they've combined chapters into one. So Central England it is. Also, I want to say that if you have any outstanding paid-for merchandise that you're waiting for from the Heart of a Villain, it all shipped out this week, so be checking your mailboxes, your driveway, your front porch, whatever you've got, wherever your stuff is going to show up, because it should be there within the next couple of days. And real quick, while I'm on that, don't forget that you can go out there, and if you don't have anything paid for yet and you want to, go out to theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. There's the podcast site where you can get all the previous podcasts. As I said, previous podcasts, easy for me to say, right? Previous podcasts, there's 34 of them. And you can also check out the merchandise there. We've got some nice models on our show here. We're going to be updating this before too long here. Shirts, patches, pins, all that other fun stuff. So won't bore you with that right now. But if you're interested in that, please do. So don't forget, if you are here listening to this and you are not already a subscriber to the YouTube channel, make sure you get over there and like and subscribe to the YouTube channel because you'll get updated on any other videos we put out here from the Heart of a Villain, and you'll also be updated on everything that is the Heart of a Villain as things go. So get over there and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Finally, I will say that the website is coming along slowly. It is coming along a little bit at a time. I want to make sure it's just right so that that mapping program I've been telling you about is working just right. So hopefully very soon I will have that out. Just mark your address bars. It is theheartofavillain.com. I did secure that, so that's where it's going to be when it's available. So just keep your eyes and ears out for that. Okay. Well, we've covered a few things so far. I don't have any other major announcements other than the fact that most of the Midwest people are down in Knoxville tonight with the meet and greet of the Knox Villains event. And this is the first big event that's come up after all the COVID-19 pandemic restrictions and everything else. So, man, it's interesting to see you there. There's already been some live videos that have sprung up on YouTube or on Instagram, and they're having a good time. It's nice to see brothers getting back together with brothers. Hopefully they're still staying safe, of course, but it's just nice to see people be back together again after several months away. And so I know that the Smoky Mountain chapter is going to really do a bang-up job. They, if you didn't know, they had to make some last-second amendments to their plans when the venue itself that they planned on decided no longer could they hold them after the pandemic. So they had to make some last-second decisions, and they made it work. So, I mean, congratulations to those guys. They did a hell of a job making sure that event was going to go off. So everybody is down there right now in Knoxville. I wish I could be there, but unfortunately this time around I was unable to make it work. So to everybody who is down there in Knoxville, if you are listening or listening later, hopefully you had a great time. Hopefully you are staying safe and enjoy the time. Have fun with the brotherhood. Guys, I'm going to get right into it. This is my interview coming up here with the Bearded Villains of Brazil, Captain Paulo. Now, I want to preface this a little bit by saying, please go out to their website, or I'm sorry, to their Instagram page, to the Brazil page, and you will see something that I think is it's a little odd given the pandemic situation right now. Not many chapters have been able to really still get together and find a way to continue to do their charity drives and their different things that they normally do with the pandemic because of social distancing guidelines and everything else that's in place all over the world. but I'm telling you what, these guys found a way, and they continued to do their stuff down in Brazil, even despite the pandemic. So kudos to them. I was really excited about that, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to get him on here to talk about that a little bit and let everybody hear a little bit from Paulo about the bang up job they're doing down there in Brazil. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start playing my interview with Paulo from the Bearded Villains of Brazil. He is the captain, real cool dude, and we're going to get right into this. My guest today is from the Bearded Villains of Brazil. He is the co-captain. His name is Paulo, but everybody knows him by Janu. Janu, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing fine, BP. How are you?
I'm doing really well.
Good.
I've been trying to get you on, I know, for a little bit here because I think it's really refreshing to see what you and your chapter have been able to do, especially during this pandemic and staying active, especially with your charitable endeavors and the different things you guys have been doing. But so first of all, congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I wanted to first, though, touch base with you on your BV journey. You are now the co-captain. You said you've been for a little bit here with Brazil. Now, Brazil is a big, big country. Tell us a little bit about how we're going to get into the size and how that compares to the States and how you guys are just killing it over there. But I wanted to just talk for a second about you personally. How did you find the Bearded Villains, and what's your journey been like?
Yeah, man, I think it was a good journey. I became a co-cap last year, but I joined Bearded Villains in end of 2017.
Oh, wow.
So a relatively short trip, I would say. How did I find Bearded Villains? I think it was I kind of chased a Bearded Villain for a while. I got to see, like, I started growing my beard for I think since 15 or so.
Oh, wow.
And then I started, like looking at the Instagram and seeing those things related to beard that called me a good attention. And then I found these signs, these masks, these very well taken pictures that got my attention. Then I started talking to a guy from Poland, asking him what was that about. And he explained me a bit, but then told me to find someone in Brazil because he was sure we had some BV in Brazil. So I did. Then I find a guy, then I find another one, but it was very, very difficult to talk about it. I was also at that time a bit shy. But then I finally got this guy from the south, Igor, at that time he was our co-captain, but he is until now a scout.
Okay.
So nice guy. He told me a lot about BV, good thing, and that was a good match to what I was looking for. And then I started. I started as a hopeful. Then I was granted this. After a while, I was granted the patch. And then I participated to their third anniversary meeting. That was my first meeting in BV. I've never participated of something like that. Man, I was amazed to get to know those people I saw only on Instagram. Of course, like we were talking a lot on the WhatsApp, a version of this line. It was good, but it was great to see people. So, it was unforgettable. So I think I started around that. So then I joined the guys for the Latin America meeting in Argentina. That was
wow.
That was simply too much, but it was great. It was in 2019, yes, last year. This year, unfortunately, I could not join.
Right.
And then last year we had this elections, I would say, in BV Brazil, in the chapter. And then I was elected co-cap. I was indicated by Regis, our captain. So that was this election, and here I am. Here I am.
So you
Uh,
you went in pretty short time. It seems like. I mean, you worked your way up and became active, and you know, you're that's pretty funny that you so quickly after your you first start up and you got ingratiated into that
Yeah.
Argentina meet.
yeah, it was fast. It
That-
was fast.
But how cool is that you were able to? I mean, so quickly. So many times it seems like so many of the guys that are coming up through the ranks and just learning about BV, it takes a while before they're able to go to a meet like that. And you were able to not only go to, you know, one, but then also such a big meet like the Argentina one.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, I think it had to do, and I see like people in when they get to know BV, they get really passionate about the idea, about the brotherhood. So I think it is about it. Get passionate, really really get this idea that everyone has something to give, and then you give, either by participating to the charity, or I don't know, participating to the meetings, talking about it, you know, having the local meetings, because as Brazil is a big country, yeah, almost the size of US. So it's difficult to meet each other frequently. There are brothers that I've never seen in person for a while. There are brothers, unfortunately, that they live so away, like each other, that it would cost them a kind of a month salary to travel, you know.
Wow.
So it is hard. So what we do is we try as much as we can, talk, either by message or voice or whatever, and whenever possible have some local meetings as well. Like in the cities we have one or two, try to get at least once a month an event. To, of course, like during this COVID, it's not that frequently, right?
Right.
But yeah.
Well, you said something that I loved when you were describing the first parts of your journey, that you were at one time pretty shy, and so I assume the Bearded Villains has kind of brought you out of your shell a little bit.
Oh yes, yes. Of course, I'm still like I am a bit nervous here during this session, but yes, it helped me a lot, like to expand my horizon, you know, because until there, I was 46-year-old, 48 now. I was 45 maybe, but then my circle of friendship was like people at work, some people at the community I live. But never like thought about, you know, having this relation with people from other states, countries, and you know, so yes, it helped me a lot.
Has that been? Well, I'll just leave it as an open question. What's been your favorite part since I know you said that you were first kind of attracted to the idea of the Bearded Villains from seeing the pictures, but since you found out what the Bearded Villains were all about, and then now you've been such a big part of it, what's been your favorite part of it that's really driven you?
Well, from mine, I think the respect, you know, for diversity. I think that is one of the best part. Because before getting to Bearded Villains, I was pretty active at my community, at my church. But you know, like it's not a criticism, but we in these communities, we have some rules, you know, and we kind of tend to segregate people. It's not for the bad, but it is the way it works. But then at the BV, I felt like there was no barriers, you know. We were respecting each other, no matter religion or you know, sex orientation or whatever. So I really felt home, and this was my you know, of course, like the charity is also something really big, but I go for the diversity, you know, the respect among people. That is my
That's great. It's perfect for I know here in the States, especially to hear that this time of the, you know, with all the world events that are going on, and especially the local events here in the States right now. That's
Yeah, yeah.
that's refreshing to hear. Now, you said something that kind of struck me, that there's rules. Is it kind of expected that people with different religious connotations or different races, is it expected in Brazil that people will kind of stay to themselves?
Not sure if I got your question, BB.
Well, you
Sorry.
said there's rules.
Hmm.
You said there's rules there, but BV has kind of helped you kind of go outside of the box with those.
Oh, yes. Yeah, because it gave me this opportunity, to talk to people from, very different
Okay.
areas and education and when you expand your conscious, then you start thinking things differently. I think that is the beauty. At least for me, like I had some ideas, but there were people in my circle that some ideas I could not share, because it was like against that closed way of thinking, I would say.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Okay.
but then yeah, I met unbelievable people. Like there were some people that I remember, like in some meetings I went, the meeting to the chapter Goiás, the meeting at Argentina, even our meeting at chapter Brazil. There were meetings that I was talking to a person like all night long, and we felt like we were really brothers,
Yeah.
and a lot of reflections. It is not just beer and food. It is a lot more, a lot
Yeah.
more. So it only makes good to people,
Yeah. I've had some of the best one-on-one conversations with men that are going through the same things in life as you. Whether it's just general life, whether it's struggles at work, struggles with family, kids, different things, and it's a universal issue. No matter where you are, we're all going through the same things. It's just a little different in different parts of the world. And so I love that. I love that about the brotherhood, that you can go somewhere, meet a guy from another state, another country, another part of the world, and just find out you're not alone and you're going through the same things that they are. And
Exactly.
it's good for both people and for all the guys to hear that stuff. So that's awesome. So you guys, I'm sorry, go ahead. Were you say something?
No,
Okay.
I'm fine. Yeah.
So explain for those of you who are not really familiar with world geography, and I'll admit I'm not always as well, but sometimes I try to bone up on it a little bit before I do an interview. The country of Brazil is almost the exact same size, give or take a little bit, if you lay it over the top of the United States. So imagine these guys trying to tackle what we normally tackle here in the States, in our chopped up states, and they're trying to cover it. Now, because you guys are the only chapter, right?
No, actually, we
Oh, I'm
are
sorry.
3 chapters in Brazil. Yeah, there is this chapter, BV Brazil, BVBR.
Right.
That is like for the country, but there are some areas that we have more concentration. So I think it was in end of 18, that the chapter Goiás took
Oh, that's right.
its body.
Yep.
And also right after São Paulo as well, because São Paulo is a huge concentration as well. So we are 3 chapters.
I forgot that. That's
3
how bad I
Brazilian
am.
chapters.
That's how bad.
Yeah.
We have over 160, and I start every once in a while. I speak before I think. So apologize. I apologize, guys in Sao Paulo. I didn't mean to make that oops. But you guys will be on my list. Okay, well, let's see here. We're live. This is part of live, everybody. I'm not sure what happened there. We're going to try to bring that video back and see if we can see what we can do to bring this guy back in here. Let's try this again here. I have no idea, no earthly idea what just happened. But let's try to bring the rest of this video in so we can See what we do here. Well, okay. Technical difficulties, boys and girls. That's right. First time for everything, and we're just going to kick through it here. I would say let's start it up again, but what I'm going to do is float through here for a second and see if we can get her to play in just a second. Let's kick it over here for just a quick second here, and we're on the fly here, folks. We're on the fly. All right, so we're going to try and kick this again here. Maybe we just had a computer glitch and get this going here. Well, let's try this again. My guest today is from the Bearded Villains of Brazil. You're doing this with me. We're going to do this the old-fashioned way. We're going to do the fast-forward method. Let's see if this works. My guest today is from... Okay, folks. Well, I don't want to keep you too late here. We're going to have to do a little bit of video editing here, or audio editing. And don't worry, for the actual podcast recording tonight, it will go off without a hitch. I have the recording in hand, so no worries there. It'll just require a little bit of video editing on behalf of the old BP here. So, guys, oh, things happen, guys. Things happen. I don't know what to tell you. It's just crazy. There's about another 14, 15 minutes of that interview, and I can try and surmise a little bit. One of the great things that I love about that conversation that I was having there with Paulo is that, you know, as far as the connection, the connectivity between people, between brothers, he gets it. You know, he was really, you know, he was really interested when he first found BV. First of all, it was the pictures, and it was everything that you first visually see with the Bearded Villains. But for him, it wasn't the charity thing that keeps him around initially. It was because of the diversity. And we're living in such a crazy world right now, but with everything going on. But how cool is it that was the keystone for him? That was the thing that brought him and said, you know, to him, this is a great brotherhood that I want to be a part of and stay a part of because of the diversity of it. It doesn't matter who you are a brother, and that diversity is what really kicked it off for him. So it's such a great thing, and the fact that he realized so early on, it's not about just parties and drinking and stuff like that. It's about brotherhood. It's the connection. It's the stories. It's being able to have those one-on-one conversations that actually mean something. So again, it's such a great thing, and he's such a great dude. So Sorry for the live streamers here that weren't able to listen to that full podcast interview, but you'll be able to listen to it in its entirety once you listen to the audio form of the podcast. So we're going to kick it up a notch here, as Jess would say. Nope, we're not playing that one. We're going to go into music. Okay, guys. If you are looking for an all-natural beard oil that will not only tame your beard and those coarse hairs, but will also make your beard soft and smell amazing, check out Pulpo Beard Oils. Veteran-owned and made for today's beards, Pulpo beard products combine the best beard ingredients on the market with incredible customer care and service to ensure your happiness. Whether you need beard wash, beard oil, beard balm, or fun clothing, Pulpo is the place to go. Feel fresh, feel savage, feel confident with Pulpo Beard Oils. Go to pulpobeardoils.com and use the code The Heart of a Villain for a discount on your order. That's Pulpo, P-U-L-P-O, beardoils.com. Use The Heart of a Villain as your discount on your order. Okay, guys. So I'm going to kick into the calendar of events here. And we already have one of our calendar of events items that's in play, already going on right now as we speak. Down in Knoxville, the brothers and sisters down in Knoxville are taking part in Knox Villains. It's this weekend in Knoxville, Tennessee, hosted by the Smoky Mountain Bearded Villains, and it benefits the Autism Society of East Tennessee. It's at the Bohemian. Well, no, I'm sorry, it's no longer there. See what I do? It's just a fun night of all sorts of issues. It is not. It's just in Knoxville, and they're having a great time. So if you can make it to Knoxville, hit up the Bearded Villains, the Smoky Mountain Bearded Villains, and find out where they're at, because they're going to be all over the place just having a great time. So that's Knox Villains this weekend. September 11th through the 13th is the Four Corners Meet, and it's in Cortez, Colorado. Keep in mind, this event, this meet, the Four Corners Meet, is for brothers only. No families, no chillins, nothing. It's just for some bro time. September 11th through the 13th, the Four Corners Meet in Cortez, Colorado, if you want to go. The Battle of the Beards will be October 3rd in Southern Indiana. It's hosted by the Bearded Villains of Southern Indiana, and it benefits the Gresham House. It's going to be held at the American Legion Post, number 44, at 711 State Street in Newburgh, Indiana. That's the Battle of the Beards. It's actually Battle of the Beards 3, and it's October 3rd, hosted by the Bearded Villains of Southern Indiana. And finally, the last one I have on the schedule right now is just a save the date kind of thing, and that will be October 16th and 17th, the 4th annual Florida Summit, the 4th Florida Summit. It's going to be in Pensacola Beach, Florida, and so far as I know, everything's on track to keep that in place. No details have come forth yet because, well, they're just playing it close to the vest right now with everything going on. But the plan is, keep the date in mind, October 16th and 17th, 4th Florida Summit. Pensacola Beach, Florida. All right, guys. So that's the schedule of events right now. I can't wait to start getting some more of those on there. We're going to have a bunch more coming up, hopefully in the coming weeks and months as things start to let up. It's going to be nice to see. It's going to be nice to see our brothers and sisters back together again. So, yeah, that's the way of it. All right, guys. Remember, you can buy shirts, patches, pins at theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. Theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. You can listen to any other podcasts, previous podcasts. There's 34 of them, and not a single one of them had the problems that we had tonight. So good luck. But yeah, we have 34 other podcasts to listen to from a variety of countries, a variety of chapters from all over the world. So check those out if you haven't already, and you can get shirts, patches, pins on that site as well. theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. All right, guys. You know what that sound of that music means. I want to thank Paulo for being my guest this week from the Bearded Villains of Brazil. Thanks everybody for listening in. I do greatly appreciate it. I apologize for all the technical difficulties, but that's part of the issue. That's part of the road here. And guys, that'll wrap up episode 35 of The Heart of a Villain. Again, special thanks to Paulo from the Bearded Villains of Brazil. Keep killing it over there in Brazil, guys. Remember, you can still buy shirts, patches, pins on theheartofavillain.com, or I'm sorry, theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. And don't forget, the heart of a villain never stops beating. Finally, guys, remember, as always, it's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. So for now, have a great weekend, guys. Take care and stay safe.